The Sports Ball Stuff podcast is brought to you by What Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. Pulpery Media presents Sports Ball Stuff with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the major sports stories that intrigue us and the little stories that enrage us.
The teams that have joined the SEC, your Texas and Oklahomas and stuff, aren't built to deal with the SEC.
That's right. Did Texas finally lose?
Georgia, I think.
So it's
manhandled Texas.
I got to listen on the radio to the
Please tell me.
Who played Alabama?
Was it Tennessee that beat them again?
Yeah, Tennessee beat them.
Yeah, Alabama got two losses.
Yeah.
2 losses before Thanksgiving.
Ole Miss, I think, lost again this weekend.
No, I think they maybe.
Well, they got 2 losses.
LSU beat them.
Yeah.
So the fucked up thing is LSU just keeps doing their thing, and they've stayed at number 8 for like what seems like all year. They've been ranked at number. Notre Dame has been at 11. It seems like since week 2.
Yeah. Even though the team that we beat
is up there.
Yeah, and I get it. Northern Illinois did not prove out, and it's
what.
But everybody has those games.
USC first game of the season didn't.
USC is actually legit though.
Yeah, they're just not a top 10, 15 team like we thought they were. Real quick.
They're never going to be.
Before we get into anything, Army and Navy being undefeated and both in the top 25. Well done, guys.
And also, that's going to make that end of the year game.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
It's going to be bananas.
So growing up.
That actually means something now.
Growing up.
Yeah.
That was the game.
It was. Yeah.
Dad went to college and played football and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But
did he go to West Point?
No, he went in Monroe. He went to fucking, at the time, Northeast Louisiana University.
Oh, but he was in like ROTC and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then he joined and then went to
yeah, because he's an Army guy. Yeah, he's Army.
School.
Yeah.
And then was like the highest military police.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever. But it was the Army-Navy game.
I'm not bragging or nothing. But
that was it. So I always peek in on it, right? And I really don't give a shit if like one's 3-6 and the other one's 2-6. I'm not trying to watch the game. But
this is like throwback to what, like, again, why Notre Dame always plays Army and Navy.
Exactly.
Because back in the 1930s, they actually were a fucking
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those were the teams.
Right.
Yeah. So good on them. Oregon, I have no idea what they're about, but they're number 1 now.
Well, so
are they in the Big Ten?
Yes.
So they're in there with Michigan and all that. Ohio
Correct,
State. Yeah. They're the ones who beat Ohio State.
No, I don't think they've played a marquee matchup yet.
Who did Ohio State lose to?
That's a good question. I don't know. But somebody major, because they're in the top 4, but
with a loss, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it might have been Oregon.
Might have been Oregon, yeah.
So that's the thing. And the other thing I was going to say is, here we go. So Georgia lost to Alabama.
Yeah.
And then Alabama loses 2, but Georgia stays up there.
Yeah.
I can't believe Penn State is in the top 5.
That makes sense.
And that Miami is in the top.
You got to remember, with the addition of Oregon and USC to the Big Ten, that makes the Big Ten even more powerful. So if Penn State is 6-0 in the Big Ten,
no matter who they've played or not.
I don't agree. I think Penn State should be number 2. I don't agree with Georgia being number 1
because their one loss was against a 2-loss SEC team.
Yeah,
that's SEC bias.
Yeah,
that's because Georgia.
Totally.
That's because Georgia beat Texas.
Yeah,
and I'm not convinced that Texas is a good football team. Still not convinced.
No, and granted. Now, see, like, I would say Miami being at 7-0, but only being number 6, like I agree with that because it's Miami.
Correct. That makes sense. Like they haven't had a quote unquote marquee win yet.
Correct. Now I will say this is that this is what pisses me off about standings, and I'm not sitting here saying, but this.
I have a question about standings when you're finished.
Mizzou is ranked number 21 at 6-1, and their one loss is to Texas A&M.
Correct. Who is ranked,
which was at home at Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is ranked number 14.
And Mizzou beat Tennessee. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
And Tennessee's in the top 10?
Correct.
That doesn't make any sense.
So Mizzou should, at the very least, be number 15.
They should be right behind Texas A&M and ahead of Alabama. I don't know why Alabama or Ole Miss are still in the top 25.
I don't know. It's bananas to me.
Vanderbilt crept in. Good for them. They've had a couple of solid wins. So the question becomes: so what?
It's so Vandy, and they're gonna blow.
Who cares?
I know. Yeah,
they're the smartest team collectively out of the rest of the top 25.
Oh fuck! What was the win that they had the other 2 weeks ago when they carried the?
Did they beat Alabama?
Yeah.
Right. That was Alabama's first loss. Or second loss.
First, yeah.
Where they carried that fucker down Broadway.
Yeah.
And chucked it in the river.
Which I did have to confirm with my buddy from who lives in Nashville is that my memory was right. It's several miles from Vanderbilt Stadium to the river.
Down Broadway.
And they got a police escort.
Yep. When you see the video, it is
Metro Nashville police escort.
Correct. To the river.
Yeah. Nobody, all these people are like, why are they throwing it in the river? Nobody in Nashville gave a shit because they understood the importance of that singular moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Do your fucking thing.
Yeah.
I think the university were they were like Michael Che's joke about the priest and the $880 million. The university was like,
worth it.
That $1 million fine was worth it.
Yeah,
totally worth it.
Oh, it's Vanderbilt. They got the money. Don't worry about it.
And the smarts. Like I said, they were smarter than everybody there.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's why they're in the SEC to bump up the GPA.
That's the only reason they're there.
Yeah.
The only reason. What poll do they use for the playoffs? Is it its own BCS or playoff poll? There's a separate poll that they're going to release around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That will be the playoff
Correct,
poll.
Yeah.
And it's not the AP.
If they follow the last couple of years, yeah.
Or followed hasn't been since the BCS.
So remember, we're doing, what we look at is they combine the AP and the college poll.
Which is now.
Yeah.
Because before it was the AP and the college, and then you had your BCS and then your national championship poll that they would release.
Yeah.
AP and college merged to one poll that we see, and then we get the one that drops for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they do a hybrid now. You still have the two separate ones.
I saw an FPI one.
That's the one that's projecting the playoffs.
The FPI one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, they've got LSU at 8.
So AP is sports writers. The college poll is coaches.
So they still have the college poll?
Yeah.
Because I don't even see that. I don't give a fuck about that.
Well, I think it's they now do. Actually, I think what we get right now is the college poll, is the coaches' vote.
So we're waiting
which would explain why you have Georgia.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're like, oh man, Kirby Smart's doing the right thing.
Yeah. Whatever. I always look at the FPI.
Yeah.
Every week. And yes, I would like to pull it up, and I don't give a fuck. How about that?
No, it's.
But you would like to think that would be it. I don't give a fuck about the Associated Press. You mean to tell me that they watched every single 200 NCAA football teams play?
You mean the college poll?
Both.
Well, no, AP, yes.
Because that's just
Associated Press, yeah.
So you mean to tell me one person watched all those games?
Well, no, I mean Sports Illustrated is part of the Associated Press. ESPN is part of the
it's not
Associated Press.
individual.
Yeah,
It's not like I write an article for Sports Illustrated. It's Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
That makes sense. I was looking at it a completely different angle.
AP reporters, like guys who write for the Picayune down here,
Right.
are part of the AP.
Okay,
They can just share it out. So they poll every sports writer in the world. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's better than a coach's poll.
Yeah,
A coach's poll is totally
a fucking joke.
Nowadays is totally biased because they will, like, if like in the, thank God Nick Saban retired, because when Nick Saban was there, he hated anybody who had an NIL quarterback.
Yeah.
And so they'd rank them lower, because they're not part of what college football's supposed to be.
That's like the old school guys with baseball.
Right.
And I'm one of them.
But
so
no,
let's
I'm
see,
just
real
saying,
quick.
it's like seriously, like Mizzou proves that. Mizzou should be at least in the top 15.
Yes,
and
easily.
That they are in number 21.
They have a signature win. They're in a Power 5 conference, and they've got one loss to a top 10 team, right? Did they lose to a better team?
No.
Who'd they lose to?
Texas A&M.
Again.
Who is 15.
What I mean better team, I mean higher ranked. So
no. A&M at the time was not.
Don't care.
But it doesn't matter. Like, Notre Dame beat A&M.
Right.
And they're just
hovering at 11.
But that's also bias as well. But
they're not in the conference.
I'm not
All
going to
right,
get
so
into
let's
that.
see. So we've got Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Texas, Florida. So do you think the current top 12, and you've got BYU in there and Iowa State, are all these teams going to cannibalize each other?
No, so I mean, you're going to see like all the playoff teams are going to have one loss.
Yeah, because you've got Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State.
So that's why, like, Notre Dame
State.
Notre Dame right now is playing as a playoff team, because if they get 2 losses, they're out.
Who do they have this week? When do they play Navy?
Usually towards the end of the year.
Have they played Florida State yet?
No, not yet.
How about USC?
No, not yet.
So there's 2.
Yeah.
And you've got Navy. That's 3.
So we have Florida State is not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
Then UVA.
There's one of the random ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
one of the
Army.
ACC tied in games. Got it.
Then Army.
Yep.
And then
it's
US.
Army, it's not Navy?
Yeah.
I just sworn it was the other one. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're playing Navy this weekend.
Thank you, you fucking asshole.
I missed that because there's an ad in the middle.
Oh, fuck ad. I don't need ads in the middle of my football schedules.
Right. So, Navy this weekend, then Florida State, UVA, which is an ACC team.
Yeah, that's why I said the ACC fell in. USC,
then Army.
Okay.
And then USC to close out the season.
All winnable games.
Yeah. USC, I'm actually worried about this year.
They beat us.
Yeah.
LSU still got a tough go of it, man.
Now, and although, I mean, Navy gave us a run last year, and they got a lot of returning guys, so
you want to hear
the Navy game is, and it's at Navy.
So and Navy's working on one of their best seasons.
Yeah.
They're not undefeated though, right? 1 loss? Doesn't matter. Who cares?
No. Navy and Army are undefeated.
Both undefeated?
Yeah.
It's the Air Force that sucks.
Yeah.
LSU's remaining schedule at A&M.
They're going to lose.
Alabama at home.
Lose.
At Florida.
Lose.
Vanderbilt at home.
Should win.
Oklahoma at home.
Oh,
That's a fucking murderer's row.
Jesus. The following segment has been brought to you by Whatever Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. The Sports Ball Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion. Marketing by Brock Ryder. Graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion. Music by the Heisenberg Compensators.